Good day and welcome again to the Relationship and Marriage Hour. I am here with Dr. Maria McDonald. I am Dr. ALVIN HEPBURN. We are out of Nassau, Bahamas, and today we want to talk on a very interesting topic. We want to thank you for joining in with us today. So we want you to call your friends and call your loved ones and let them know that the Relationship Marriage Hour is on at Love Bay Afrobeat radio and television show. So we want you to be a part of what we will be discussing today as we look and dive into another aspect of relationships and marriages. And let's welcome co-host. I'm her co-host, Dr. Maria McDonald. How are you, Doc?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I am doing well. I am blessed. I want
Wonderful.
us I want us to talk this hour, Doc, on the place of love. Earlier in the year, how the foundation of the relationship should not be love. We talked about how there has to be this idea of commitment, this idea of respect and to value each other. But I want people to know that there is a place of love. So that's what I want us to talk about today so they can grasp and have an understanding on what is love, where is its rightful place in the relationship, and how it could help or hurt. We'll talk about that too. Whether it will be helping, is it an additive or is it a distraction in the relationship? So let's first talk about what is love. What is love, Doc?
Well, can we describe love? Love is that feelings. Boy, listen, that is really a wide topic to explain, but it's a fondness,
Yes.
a great desire, um, so many adjectives with that. But love is when you really care about someone. I, I want to say more than you care about yourself because we prefer others more than ourselves, but not that you're neglecting yourself. But when you love someone,
Yes.
you want to make that person happy. You want to do everything to keep that person, happy and have a good relationship. So love is that emotion that tells someone that I really care about you.
Okay. So is it more than that butterfly in your stomach?
Oh, yeah. It goes way beyond that butterfly. That butterfly only flies when you are in the presence of a person. Love continues whether you are with me or without me. That's the
Oh
difference.
wow.
Um,
Yes.
because when you see that person, those butterfly, they just begin to, stir up. But what about when they're not there? And that's the time we
Yeah.
really need to show love because we pull in trust there too. Because you could go away and you could say, I love a person,
Yeah.
and you're not feeling any butterfly. That means you pick up somebody else. So it's beyond the
Mm,
butterflies. It goes much
yes.
further than the butterflies. Yes.
And I feel, Doc, in our society now, I feel that one word LOVE has been abused. Um,
Plenty.
because people use it so loosely. Oh, I love you. I love this. I love that. And I tell people, actually, I even said it to today in one of my sermons that love is an action word. It is an
Yes.
action word. And when I say that, this is what I mean. Because somebody gives to you, doesn't mean that they love you.
No.
But if somebody loves you, they will give.
Give. That's right. That
Yeah,
is so true.
yeah. So
You,
go
you,
on.
you, you saying that, then it makes me wonder if this is not the reason why people are confusing um, lust for love, or friendship for love, because somebody may
Or even
come to you,
infatuation.
or infatuation, and because they give you things, you think that's love. Because they give you a nice gift, they think that's love. Maybe even buy you a vehicle, and they think that's love. But in essence, that has nothing to do with love. Um, like you just said, Dr. Alvin, you can love and give. I think that's how you said it. But it cannot be that everything, it's just the giving that makes it love.
No, no.
It cannot just be that.
Yeah, because like you were saying, Doc, because some people see this fella or this woman always giving, 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 giving to them, and they would misconstrue that, and they might could tell people, "Oh, boy, you see how much she loved me. Look at all of this stuff that she give me."
Exactly.
And what I am saying is, people can give you but still not love you.
That's right.
But if they love you, they will give to you.
Right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
be because that's how love works itself out. Love works itself out in actions.
In action. So we can see what causes the confusion with the
Yes.
young people. They think
Yes,
when
because
the guy
many
is
people
doing,
look at the action.
that's right. That's right. Wow.
So too, they and there are people out there who are conniving, who are wicked, who are deceiving, and who have ulterior motives.
That's right.
And I pondered this for a very long time. And this is another thing that I don't know if we even talk about this much today,
Hmm.
is is that every action that is done, it is generated through love.
Yeah,
And saying that though, it is, boy, that's, it may seem simple, but it's powerful that
it
everything
is.
we do, it is because of love. But now, yeah, here comes my question: what are you loving? Because
Hmm.
I may help Dr. Maria not because I love her, but I love what she will do for me because I help her.
Powerful. That is so true. Powerful.
Yeah,
And, and that's a form of manipulation.
right there, that's it, right there.
Yeah, that's manipulation. So that is not love. But the funny thing is, people fall for it. And I can see it happening because if you're not in a place of love, if you see somebody extending niceness and doing all, you will take that for love, unless you know true love and what
Yeah,
it looks like.
I would call that I would call that, dog, tainted love.
Yeah, yeah,
It
that's a
is
good one.
love that comes with strings attached. I
Or
am
I, the
helping
young
you.
the young
Go
people
on.
call it um, love with benefits.
Yes, yes. Um, where it is, boy, and this is an old saying that we say here in the Bahamas: you scratch my back, I'll rub your belly.
That's
Which
right.
means, and another saying that we say, hand go, hand come.
And go ahead and come.
So, so, um, what if my hand can't come? Are you still going to do what you said that you were going to do? What if you bought me a plate of food, and normally you will bring me a plate of food this Sunday, and the next Sunday I bring you a plate of food? But what if things get so tough for me that I can't bring you a plate of food? Do you still bring me a plate of food?
Hmm.
because
Wow.
you say that you love me. And
That's right.
the reason why, and I don't know how long we'll be here, but the reason why I brought that up is because one time ago, my wife Tanya asked me, she said, Alvin, why do you love me? And I sat down, Doc, to try to ponder, well, why I love this girl. I know I love her. And I ended up looking at her and saying, I don't know why I love you.
Wow.
And she said,
Wow.
what? You don't know why you love me? I said, yeah, I can't answer you as to why I love you. I can't say I love you because you're pretty, because if tomorrow you get in an accident and you get disfigured, I will still love you.
That's it. It goes deeper.
Yeah. So it's way beyond that physical, is way beyond what I can see or even what you can do for me. Because then too, there are some people who say, "Oh, I love you because you cook my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You iron my clothes. You take care of me." But what if that person now stop cooking? Does the love now disappear?
That's it. Wow.
So so then technically, you did not love me. You love the things I do.
Right. Right.
So even in answering this question, the place of love in the marriage is that we need to find out what or who you love.
Hmm. You said something there just now, and it took me to this. There is a place in marriage we love, but there's a mystery to that love that's from God. We don't understand how it works, what it does, but we know it's there. And
Yes.
I believe that is the beauty of going into marriage God's way. There is a
Yes.
mystery of it that we cannot understand. For example, you know your relationship, but yet
Yes.
you could not explain why you love her. So it's
Yeah.
that part that comes from God that takes root in us, and we love. And that's just it. It's just a mystery.
Yes.
We can't explain it. Why do I love this man so much? We can't
Yeah.
explain it. But it's like a bond. And that's what marriage does. It brings a bond from God
Yes.
that we call the mystery.
Yes. Yes. I agree. I agree so much. And even though we can say, oh Lord, let me say it, that l- you could have a good marriage void of love when you look at the what marriage is, in the fact that I am committed to you. uh, I'm not going to step out on you. I'm going to do my husbandly role, and you're going to do your wifely role. We can sit
Mhm.
down and plan, and then we work towards that plan. But you know what I think? Just like how we would say that a man would give his wife a house and she turns it into a home,
Yes,
that's what I think love does
yes,
as it relates
creates.
to a marriage.
Yeah.
Mind you, we could all live in a house and be
Hmm.
comfortable, but when that wife comes in and she turns that into a home, oh wow, you can't wait to get there.
Yes, yes. And,
And
and,
I
and that's
think
what,
though,
go ahead.
and I think though that that's the place of love.
Yeah.
Talk to us, Doc.
And I think that is what keeps the love in the home and the family united. It has
Yes,
to be, there's a warmth in the home. There's a belonging to be in that home. And therefore, you wouldn't have to worry about him having to go here, there, and can't come home when he gets off because he's so, you know, but he will come home
yes,
because he knows this is my safe place. And that's what
yes,
we need to make our home, our marriage, a safe place. When there's no safe place, then you have chaos, or you have distance, and it could be so many other things going on, you know.
Yes.
But make that, like you say,
Boy, but
make
that,
that house a home.
yeah, that was powerful.
Hmm.
Yes. And see, you just said something that we could talk about, in many um um our sessions,
Hmm.
is for that husband and wife. Marriage is like that safe space. If
Yes.
there's no place else in the world that you can be you, that you can be relaxed and don't feel like you being attacked, or
Hmm.
that you're being judged, that's what marriage should be.
Yes.
Oh
Definitely.
wow, that was powerful, Doc. That was
Definitely.
powerful.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. And
And
I
that's what
think that
we want to.
love just seals that deal.
Yeah. Wow.
Talk to us, Doc. Talk. That's some
I'm
good
just
stuff.
thinking because we often we cause ourselves problems when we talk about we get into marriage. One thing I want to say, right? We see another marriage. When you look over, you see green grass, right? But because I'm
Yes.
here, my grass ain't green, my grass brown. But you from the outside
Yeah.
looking and see green, right? You get
Uh-huh.
colorblind. But
Yes.
if we work our own relationship, and not so much from the world's perspective, the world will give you this is how it should be done. But what is comfortable with you and your spouse? That is right,
Yes.
that you want to now impart to the next generation, your children. So
Yes.
if you begin to do the right thing, what is right for you and your spouse, we will have beautiful marriages. We tend to look at marriage as to how this one said it should be or how the other person said it should be. But I believe we have to create the right place. And that's based also on the word. Because we can't do it
Yes.
apart from what the the creator designed it to be. But if we
Yes.
take it that way, make it work, we will have good relationships. Because
Yes.
sometimes people live for others,
Mhm.
meaning that, okay, someone may have told them this is how marriage is. They didn't tell you to follow that example, but they tell you their experience, right?
Mhm.
Or they may have told you for you to follow whichever. But you have to now see what is going to work with my spouse. My spouse may not be like your spouse. So when we try, and this is where problem comes in, because when we try to build that into our relationship, it causes problem because you have two different dynamics. Period. And when you try to work in somebody else's um, life story or how
Yeah.
they did it, you block yourself. Whereas
Mhm.
your spouse have a beautiful way of us making this thing work. But have you
Yeah.
sat to really talk to see what that beautiful thing is and how we gonna make this work? How
Yeah.
we gonna be different? How we gonna do? Yeah, and I think if sometimes we sit and yeah, the experiences of somebody else is good to help us not to make the same mistake.
Yes.
But try to build your relationship from a place of love. What is
Mhm.
comfortable for your spouse?
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
can almost guarantee you it'll work.
Yeah. It will. And two, Doc, you just said something
So
too that I want to reiterate. People tend to look at their neighbor and say, "Boy, I admire his lawn. His lawn greener than mine." But don't just look at the lawn. Look at the fact that the neighbor is out there 3 times a day watering it.
exactly.
And while he watering his
Yes,
lawn, you laying down in bed.
that's right. That's
While he
right.
buying fertilizer to throw on his lawn, and he walking through pulling out the weed, all you doing is admiring. Oh, look at him out there working hard. That's
Yes.
how, and that's the problem is we only see we only see the end result, or we only focus on the end result. But all of us know, man, for him to get that lawn, he had to put time in.
Time. Time. And not only that, your spouse may not have the time that he has,
Thank you.
but he's doing a good thing. Nevertheless, in the
Yes.
area that works for you.
Yes.
Doc, a lot of women tend to look at other women and how their relationship is going. And
Yeah.
this causes problem. It creates problem in the marriage.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there's no way you can look at my relationship and try to fit that into yours.
I agree. Because two, that goes then against the scripture when the scripture says that you must come out, really.
That's it.
When Adam said, "For this cause must a man leave his father and mother," and we talked about that some time ago, where we
That's
talked
right.
about the reason why that is so profound is when you leave, you are leaving behind a particular culture,
That's right.
because now you got to form your own culture.
Right.
And the thing about it, Tanya and I, we left and we formed our culture. And that's the culture, that's the environment that AJ and I are now, they're growing up in.
That's right.
But when AJ sees his madam and Tanya sees her future, not Tanya, and Tanaya sees her future husband, they got to leave our culture
And build their own culture.
and go build their own. Mind you, fragments of our culture will always be there.
Yes. Yes.
Because, two, they like my cooking because the way I cook, I'm cooking the way my mommy taught me. So I'm bringing in some of the culture from where I came from, but that culture does not dominate this culture.
That's good.
And and that is where we go from generation to generation, growing healthy families. And any in-laws or any loved one that is forcing you to conform to their culture, they are out of place.
Yes. Yes. That is so true. But now I have a question then. Because you find that a lot, right? Maybe someone is trying to get you to live the life that they think will help your relationship. How do you tell that person this is what we prefer to do? We want to do it this way as opposed to the way you're trying to make us do it. How do you
Okay.
tell that person who may seem so concerned about you, but you know this is not what I want?
So I can call names because the name I can call you you no. Um, One day Lawrence came and he visited my house, Tanya and I, and he watched and he saw where I went into the kitchen and I cooked. After I cook, I took up the food, carry it to Tanya in bed, feed her, and do all of that type stuff. And then I went and I took up his food and took up whoever else was inside the house at the time, took up their food and make sure that they were straight. I made sure everybody was straight. And then my brother said to me, Lauren said to me, "Boy, Alvin, what you doing?" I said, "What you mean?" He said, "Man, your wife need to go inside that kitchen. She need to be the one cooking. She need to be the one doing this. Why are you doing this?" Because from the culture him and I came from, that's what we grow up with. Our mother was the one who did the majority of the cooking. She took up the food and she served us. I looked at my brother and I said, "Listen, listen, listen to me. Don't come here to break up my happy home." He say, "What you saying?" I say, "If that's how you do it in your house, you do it that way in your house. This my house. My wife and I, this what we decided that we can do, and I stick it with this because I gotta keep her happy and she gotta keep me happy.
There you go.
Now, if I can bring your culture in, because your wife won't cook, because your wife love to cook, so you don't mind her cooking. I love to cook. My wife don't like to cook, so I don't mind going in the kitchen. See, that takes nothing off of me. Actually, I get
Yes.
an enjoyment in cooking. I enjoy
Uh-huh.
doing. So
Yes.
now, if you want me to take that and throw it on her, then she miserably every week gotta go and cook. Well, my happy house ain't gonna be happy no more.
Wow. You
But
said
after
a
I
whole
said
lot.
that to him, I put him
Yes.
in his place. Whenever he came to the house, I know what you cooking.
That says a whole lot. That says a whole
Yes,
lot. Because it's always believe you heard what you said. You love cooking.
yes,
And because that's what you love, because we think culture is saying, put it on the woman. So
uh-huh.
that's what we do. But then that's what you love to do. She doesn't love cooking, but I'm sure she's pulling a weight where in the
In
area
other
that you love
areas,
and she know you are not capable of. So that's what make
yes,
marriage works.
yes,
That's what make it work. We tend to want to make it what people say it should be, but what is comfortable to you?
yes,
What do you prefer? Do what is comfortable and what is making both of you happy, or go the way that people tell you this is the way to go?
yes, yeah, yeah,
That's
and, and
that's a powerful statement right there.
yes, yes, and and two, this is where too that love factor comes in, where I love you, and because I know that you don't want to do, or this is a hard thing for you to do, isn't taking anything off of me. Why should I care? Let me jump up and do. So so I have no problems doing it. Now my only issue with cooking now is that I from my culture, I had a mother and father with 9 children. So when I cook, we cook in big pot. So so when I take up food, we cook enough so that when you sit down and you finish eating, you know you was eating.
Mhm.
My my wife comes from a different culture where she picks food. My wife eats a little of this, eats a little of that. When when I have 3 spoons of rice, she only want a half a spoon of rice.
Yeah.
So those are those are the different things. And it's like, okay now, baby. I didn't cook this big pot of rice. She's like, well, it's only 3 for us here. Why you cook that big pot of rice? You thought you would feed your whole family, eh? But so now I have to retrain myself because I don't even use measurements when I cook. I just have a feel because I've been doing it so long. So now I just got to cut back on what I've been doing. But that's the joy of marriage.
Yes.
Bringing
Yes.
don't don't see it as troubles. See it as you just trying to readjust, recalibrate,
Right.
and enjoy the process.
Yes. And Dr. Alvin, for me, and that's why I love marriage, because when we started out, we had our kids. We had five, and
My kids.
in the morning, my husband does the cooking as well,
Oh,
right?
praise the Lord.
He loves to cook. On Sunday morning, he cooks. But here's how it got started. When I get up in the morning, we have to take the kids. Kids have to be to school early in private school. You have to be school before 8:30. So when I get up, I take the kids and I'm getting them dressed for school. I'm bathing and getting them dressed, making sure the uniform and everything is in place and they pop up. While I'm doing that, he in the kitchen fixing their lunch to take to school. Now he loves to cook. I love cooking, but not that much, right? But nevertheless, um, he loves to cook. So On Sunday morning, he cooks the meal, or maybe through the week he would cook the meal, and we get along fine. So it is what makes you comfortable in your marriage. And if it's working, they say if it's not broken, don't fix it. What we need to do is stop allowing people to tell us or dictate to us
Mhm.
how a marriage
Yes.
should be if it's working for you. Now, there may be some people who don't know how to make it work. But if you find that niche
Yes.
and it's working for you and it's doing the right thing, continue to do it.
Do you know what? I think people bring things into the marriage unnecessarily.
Very
And
much so.
what I mean by that, and you alluded to it earlier, well, Sally and John, this how they do it. We need to do it like that. What?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Just because that worked for Sally and John doesn't mean it's going to work for you and me.
No, no,
We
no.
have to figure out what works for us
Yes,
and work it.
that's
And
right.
then, two, don't let people voices, oh Lord, this one supersedes the voice of your spouse.
There you go. That's it. I love that. I love that. And the same goes for the wife.
Yes, yes. Like Tanya and I, we were having a conversation, and I was telling her, listen, I make you your tuna, you just need to eat it, because you know how we do tuna and grits here.
Mhm.
Well, from our culture, from my brought up, see, my mother would cut up the onions, the bell peppers, the tomatoes and stuff, and she puts it in the tuna. Tanya doesn't like the herbs in her tuna, so I'm making the tuna the way I know, with the onions, the bell peppers, and all of that stuff,
Mhm.
and she's refusing to eat it. And I'm getting mad with her because she's refusing to eat what I have prepared.
Uh-huh.
And then she asked me one day, she asked me a question. She said, Alvin, I said, yes. Who are you making the tuna for? Is the tuna for me, or is it for the people of your old culture, basically?
Ooh.
And I'm like, the tuna is for you. So she said, so if you're making it for me, why don't you make it the way I want it?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And I
Powerful.
thought about that,
Yes.
and I'm like, boy, this girl is really smart.
Uh-huh.
So I start making it the way that she wants it. And just about every week now, I gotta make her tuna and grits
Because that's how she likes it.
because
And
that's how she likes it.
that's the beauty of the relationship. What makes your spouse happy? Make
Do
him
it.
happy. Make her
Yes.
happy. Right? Stop.
Yeah.
The point is, when you try to do what you think other people think is the right thing to do, you put a strain on the relationship. You're trying to live up to something that you can't. And then when you become frustrated, then you're
Yes.
telling her off because, or you're telling him off because it's not coming together. But if you do what you love to do, what makes him tick, what makes you tick, if you continue that, you will have a beautiful relationship. It's so and it's so simple. It is so simple. All we have to do what is right. Do what is
Yes.
right to that person. Do what is right
Yeah.
to your wife. And Tanya told you. And I'm sure
Yes.
some of the wives will tell you. Now, there's a catch there too. Your wife or your spouse may think, well, this is what I want. But is it what you really want?
Yes.
Or are you being influenced by something to want what you say you want? Be
Yeah.
honest. See, in this way, we're bringing honesty and trust back into the relationship.
Yes.
If
Yes.
we're honest, sincere, man, look here, we knock off almost 100% of our problem. Honesty
Yeah. Yeah.
in our
And
decision.
yeah. That is powerful, Doc. And for those of you who are just tuning in, you are listening to Dr. Maria McDonald and myself, Dr. Alvin Hepburn, out of Nassau, Bahamas, here on the Relationship Marriage Hour. Um, and you are listening to us through Love Bay, Afrobeat, um, radio, and television. And thank you for joining us today. And we are talking about the place of love in the marriage. Is there a place? Um, One famous songwriter, Tina Turner, she did this song. What love got to do with it anyway? Basically, what love got to do with it? And is love needed in the marriage? Can we have a successful marriage without love? Well, my answer to that question is I think you can. But boy, love takes it to the next level.
I like that. I
Love
like
takes it to, love takes it to the next level. And it is like Dr. Miles Monroe said, you give a woman a house, she turns it into a home. You give a woman grocery, she turns it into a loving meal. Whatever you give that woman, she takes it, incubates it, and gives you back something better. And that's what we think the place of love is. That it takes just the legality of marriage, which is I's the man, you's the woman, this what you're supposed to do, this what I supposed to do. It takes it beyond that point. And it says, boy, even though this is not what I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna cover you because I love you.
Mm, good stuff.
I'm gonna be there for you because I love you. And I say love is like the icing on the cake.
Yes. Yes.
You can eat the cake without the icing, but
That's how.
boy, that icing has made that cake look so good.
Mm-hmm.
It
And
makes
that,
you
go ahead.
it entice you that you
Yes.
want some. Go on, dog.
And it takes me right back to what you just said. Can you have a relationship without love? Yes. You can eat a cake without the icing? Yes. And you can, but here's what love will do for that relationship. Love is that added benefit. It will take you um, further. It will take you further. When there's love in that relationship, it takes you further. When you just with a person and
Yes.
there's no love, you'll only go so far. Because after a while you get fed up with
Yeah.
it. Enough of this.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
You understand? But when there is love,
Yes.
it takes you that much further.
Hmm. Hmm. Without love is we are just roommates.
Roommates. That's right.
Roommates with benefits.
Yes. Yes.
But love takes it. Love is like we said earlier, Doc, is much more than a feeling. It is a knowing. It is a commitment. It is a settling of the
Hmm.
mind that listen, I want you and only you.
That's right.
That and I don't just want you for the next year or the next 2 years. I want you for life.
That's
And
it.
the power of love encapsulate that statement, or it gives it meaning when I say I want you for life. Boy, life is showing us some curveballs, dog. And it is
Yes.
love that helps us
To
um,
overcome them.
as we go through.
That's
Like
right.
I was the visiting speaker at my old church, Central Church of the Nazarene, today, because the pastor there, him and his wife, I married 12 years ago. So they brought me in so that we could, so just so I could preach for them. And I did that today. And I reminded them, I said, you remember 12 years ago when you all stood before me, um, I said to you, and this was the husband, I said, look at this woman. Boy, she look good, hey. And he's like, yeah, Pastor, she look good. I can't wait. I said, yeah. Everything look good, right? He said, yeah. I said, listen, marriage is for the long haul.
Mhm.
Whether you thinking about it or not, days gonna come when nice teeth is smiling at you now. You got to go to the store and purchase some.
And
You got
that's
to
when
still
it
look at
takes
them.
you that much further.
Yes. I said, and the day will come, God forbid, but if any of you get weak, the next one got to be there to help them out.
Help. Yes. Yes.
When you commit to this marriage thing, it's the love that propels you and helps you. That boy, I got to be there during my wife or my husband's best and worst time. So at the funerals, you got to be there
Yes.
as that support system. At the celebrations of new births, you got to be there
Yes.
as that
Yes.
support system. That's what love does.
I'm
It
sure that.
tells you you got to be there.
Hmm.
Your presence, and Doc, you said something that people tend not to think about. You
Hmm.
said it takes time. That is so powerful. That
Yeah.
time.
Time. How much of it you want to give? Yes. Yes.
Love says, baby, all my time is yours. What you want?
Wow. Wow. Yes. My Lord.
And and then too, that being the case, what is the place of love in the marriage?
Mm.
I say to you that love is not the foundation.
No.
That's that friendship. Because there are sometimes in a relationship where there gets friction. And it seems like that feeling of love, that love feeling disappears. And this is where now that relationship or friendship kicks in, and you move from just the Greek eros love
Hmm.
now to the filial love,
Yes.
which is you are my friend, so I'm going to stick to you no matter what.
That's right. Wow.
Boy, love is powerful,
Powerful.
powerful.
And there are so many benefits of it. There are so many benefits. And for example, you have the outside world, you go to work, um, or what have you, and then you come home and you're frustrated with some things that may have gone on out there. But when you come to your spouse, then you can sit down and talk it over and share each other's thoughts. And, uh, she could say, well, look, you know, this is the case, or he may tell you this is the case. But you get together. And guess what? At the end of the night, you have a beautiful relationship and you're
Yes.
happy. And then you're able now to go on another day's job. And guess what?
Mhm.
What was in the past, you've already dealt with that with your spouse. And you feel so much better. So you can go back out there and you can take on the world again. Why? Because two brings heat. When you're by yourself,
Yes.
or when you have a
Yeah, you
sweetheart,
cool.
or you have a girlfriend, they may only
Yeah.
be there for that mystery of marriage. It
Yes.
brings that togetherness, and you're more powerful as
Hmm.
two, but yet one.
Yes. Yes. That's powerful, dog.
And that's why they can go out there and conquer after they would have had a rough time. And people wonder how can they make it. It's like an ever-ready battery. You get up and you go again. You move again because you got somebody at home who is backing you up, who is in your corner and telling you, man, you can make this. You can make this thing work. Somebody
Yeah.
believe in you. And that's what
Yeah.
the place of marriage will do for you. There's somebody
Yes.
who believes in
Yeah. Yeah. And that's that safe space. That's that
that.
space where you don't have to be Superman or Wonder
Hmm.
Woman.
That's
That's
right.
where you could be. I forget what Wonder Woman name was, Lawn or something, eh? But
Yeah.
Superman, I know was
Clark,
Clark
Ken,
Kent.
Ken Clark.
Yeah,
Yep.
where you could be vulnerable
Yeah.
and you don't have to have your guard up, and you would know that listen, I'm not going to be harmed.
Hmm.
Even if
Exactly.
I'm hurt, I'm not going to be harmed
That's right.
because because love does not do away with hurt,
No, no.
but love does away with harm.
It does away with harm.
Yes, I don't want to destroy you, but I need to help you get better. And sometimes pain, like they say, no pain, no gain. Sometimes pain got to happen in order for you to get better. Because, boy, my wife and I, we've had some conversations that were painful, but they were needed.
Yep. Yep.
Because in us forming our own culture, our own atmosphere, well, the atmospheres have tornadoes, hurricanes, all of those stuff happens in the atmosphere as well.
Oh,
So
yes.
so the joy of the love though is in knowing that when all the dust is settled, we still
Hey,
here.
it's right back to square one.
Yeah, we are still here
Hmm.
fighting for each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So so
That's good.
that's where it
That's good.
is.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
when you have that relationship, that love in that the place of love, you tend to be more healthier. You wouldn't find you having all kind of ailments. Um, and I mean, yeah, that you can be sick, but constantly a nagging, this keep coming back. I'm
Yeah.
having a headache. I'm not well. This is developing. You know, the stress will bring on sickness.
Yes.
And if you're in a marriage that is stressful, it will lead from one thing to the next. And the sad thing is, sometimes it seems as though the women suffer more because we find that the women go through with cancer, and I think the same for men. You
Yes.
but when you have some relationships that is really beyond stress, it's to the extreme, you can develop all types of sickness. But when there's love, and see, and it's okay when you have little quarrel. That's what makes solidify that marriage and make it that much better. You can have quarrel.
Yes.
You say you had hurricane, you had tsunami sometimes, but guess what? They come and they strengthen your marriage because you realize then that you know I love this person, so I'm going to stick it out. But it helps you to become better. You know that if we have a life that's free from problems, we tend to have a boring life. And but when you can
Yes.
have a problem, it challenges you to move to another level. It challenges you to do maybe something different. Uh, we call it sometimes problems, but it's sometimes that thing that you need to push you forward.
Mhm.
Because if you didn't have some of these little things, you will not move. You will not do something different. So
Yeah.
when you have these little challenges or little quarrels, don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it and check. I always revert to me. Let me see where I'm at fault. And I deal with me first before I
Yes.
to help him. Right?
Hmm.
And I think that's where we need to stop. And that's what marriage will help us with. Let's not point fingers at our spouse. Because when you point your finger, you got three pointing back at you, or four. The four could be pointing back at you. So let's help our
Yes.
spouse. Let's disagree to agree.
Hmm.
But let's
Hmm.
create that love for our child and our children.
Hmm. And this is the love then that casts out that selfishness.
Yes, yes, It will
You
no
could
longer
be in
be.
a marriage that works, but it's selfish. But I've done my part. It's that time for them to do theirs.
Yes. And we don't need to see that in relationships.
Yes. So,
You know?
so like we said, you need to take that to a next level.
Yes.
Um, and what I'm about to say now, boy, this goes against the norm of what people say, where they say, "You treat me good, I can treat you good." But I want to switch that. Whether you treat me good or not, because I love you, I'm still going to treat you well. I'm still going to treat you good. And over time, that should account for something. I am of the opinion, Doc, that love always will win. Love
I,
always will win.
I agree with that. Win every time. It wins every
Yeah.
time. It wins every time. So,
Because I remember um, with Tanya, because we met at College of the Bahamas. We met in a math class, and I was just that other little boy, and we would go by the professor sometimes to eat, and she wasn't studying me one time. So her and I, we decided after some time that we were going to start a relationship, and our teacher asked her, Tanya, do you love Alvin? And she hesitated. Actually, she did not answer. And the teacher looked at her and said, boy, I sorry for you then, Tanya. Why? Tanya asked her why. She said, because Alvin loves you. And if he continue to be as consistent as he has been, love can win.
wow. That's good.
And so said, so done. 24 years later,
Wow.
and we are still here. Had our hurricanes, had our tsunamis, had our whirlwinds, had our whatever you want to call the natural disasters out there, our firestorm, all of them stuff. We had all of them.
Wow.
But love is only love. You can only purify love like you purify metals, gold and silver.
That's right.
You
That's
got to
right.
put them in the fire.
Yes. Yes.
So people who want relationship without problem, your
Have it.
relationship won't be strong.
No. No.
What strengthens the relationship is when you get into those difficult spots
Mm-hmm.
and you know you have somebody there who says, I ain't leaving. I want you better, and we ain't leaving here till you get better.
Wow. That's good. That is
That's
good.
the place of love.
That's good. That's good. So it tells me then, as long as we have love in our relationship, we can turn any situation around and make it work out for
Yes,
the good. But it
yes.
comes with patience, comes with trust, it comes with um, empathy, sympathy. It comes with all of these things.
And you just describe love. Love is long suffering. It is
Long
kind,
suffering.
not
Yes,
puffed up.
that's right.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
Seeking not its own.
Yes.
The Bible says it this way: love never fails.
Never fail. So
You can't charm it.
if we have love in our relationship, we can do much more, much better.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. The relationship could work without love, boy, but love is like what turns a regular car into
Yes.
hyperdrive.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good stuff. That's good stuff.
yeah. So for those all around the world listening to us today, Doc, as we close in our final minutes, um, they need we need to you need to understand, because some people who may have been following us Sunday after Sunday, may think that there is no place for love in the marriage, but we want to get them straight to let them know that yes, your marriage could last and could work without love, but boy, it would work so much better with love.
With love, with love.
Yeah,
Yes. And that's what make it goes around,
yeah,
and that's what make it so much better.
yeah.
Hmm.
So love is like the lubricant that we put on the
In
gas.
the relationship, yes, yes.
Yeah,
So it keep it turning, keep it moving, keep it, exciting, and all of
yes,
the good stuff. So I don't know some of the things that people may be looking for, but I would always recommend take some time, get to know your spouse, um, do things together, and
yeah,
things will turn around. You know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So love is a big place
Hmm.
in the marriage,
Yes.
turning that marriage into wow, more than just what's on a piece of paper,
Oh yeah.
more than just use mine and I's yours. It turns it into
Meaningful.
I want to be yours.
Hmm.
I want to do for you, and you want to do for me. I'm not just doing it out of obligation. I'm
Right.
doing it of a heart of this is what I want to do because I love you.
Hmm.
And when husband and wife start operating like that, it takes much stress and strain off of the relationship. Most of that then goes away when husband and wife start loving each other and realizing that they are loved and being loved. Yeah. So what we got to do, what we got to do is to allow love to take its place,
Hmm.
which is the icing on the cake, which is
Yes.
that icing on the cake.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
Closing remarks, Doc.
I like that description you just gave. Icing on the cake. It adds to it. So maybe
Yeah.
there are some relationships that do not have the icing on the cake. And what is the icing on the cake? Coming together,
Uh-huh.
forgetting the hurt that would have happened before, the fact that you're married, you're in it. And like I heard somebody say, you're in it to win it. So the
Yes.
best thing to do is try to make it work. Don't throw it away, because often we throw away somebody and it becomes somebody else's treasure. And
Yes.
the sad thing about that is when you see how that person treasured what you had, that hurts. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of throwing them away, try to make it work. Do something together. And and it takes time. Don't give up so easily. We tend to be, especially if you're getting older, you tend to be quick in your temper. What short of patience. You're that much short. But take time. Allow it to work. Allow mistakes to happen and start over again. And when I say allow mistakes, it doesn't work out perfectly right away. So allow for the mistakes. And when you do that, you wouldn't be disappointed, but you
Mm-hmm.
will be able to keep making it work. And you will
Mm-hmm.
find out, hey, this thing is good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
my final word. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's good.
And Doc, because of the power of love, things that we call a mistake can turn around to be something very beautiful
Yes, I
if
like
you
that.
handle it right.
That's right. That's
And
right.
when you don't see your wife as your enemy or your spouse as your enemy, and you
Hmm.
realize that they came from a place of love,
That's right.
then you take what have done
Yes,
and you now see it differently, so you could deal with it different.
that's right.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. So
That's
our
beautiful.
closing, to those listening or or watching us all around the world in the Relationship Marriage Hour, we want to say that yes, there is a place for love, and love makes everything a bit more beautiful. So take our advice and love your spouse.
Yes.
Love them. Be vulnerable to them. Create that safe space, that place of refuge and that haven of rest. You have to create that. It doesn't just happen.
It can't happen just like that.
You got to just come together and wake it and create that space for you and let nobody violate or trespass
Nobody.
your safe space. And we thank you for listening to us today. We are not out of words, we're just out of time.
All the time.
Yes, so we thank you for tuning in to us on the Relationship Marriage Hour. And we dealt today with the place of love in marriage. And we want you to continue to listen and tell friends and families that they can join us every Sunday here from 3 to 4. And there's rebroadcasting of it that you can listen at your leisure and be blessed by it. Thank you for joining us and have a great day. I
Yes.
am Dr. Alvin C. Hepburn, and I'm here with Dr. Maria McDonald. We are both out of Nassau, Bahamas, bringing you this broadcast every week. Blessings and peace.
All right.